Arizona last year was supposed to be going into the season one of the worst teams we've ever seen. No quarterback with Kyler Murray on the shelf, limited talent. Jonathan Gannon was, by many, considered the weakest hire of the head coaching carousel. Instead, Arizona was just your normal, pretty prototypical, average, mediocre football team, which they zoomed over to win totals, even though they won 4, because a lot of the win totals were 3.5. And here they are going into this year with a full year of Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And actually, I think even almost as important of that, how about a full year of the rookie standout Marvin Harrison Jr., who is their biggest addition of the offseason? Jonah Williams comes up, fortifies the offensive line as well. They had Sean Murphy-Bunting in the secondary. But, Alex, this team is going to go how the Murray-Harrison Jr. combination goes. That will basically dictate if this team is a borderline playoff team or if this team is a 5-6 win team yet again.
I mean, what you're saying is correct, but a lot has to do with their defense more than anything. Because even last year, they were better than expected because they could score. They just really had a hard time stopping anybody. So as long as they made some adjustments and defensively are a lot better as well, of course, Kyler Murray, there still is a lot of question marks with him and if he will be a successful quarterback in this league. Especially, we've seen the good and the bad from him, right? But, yeah. I mean, he's very mobile, and he definitely has an upside. So now having Marvin Harrison Jr., I think you're almost saying that's going to depend if they're good or great or elite almost.
No, I don't want to. I don't think. I think if everything goes right, they're maxing at 9. If everything goes right, maybe 10. If they get to 10 wins, you better have a ticket on Kyler Murray at 50-1 to win the MVP in your pocket, because if that's the case, Murray might win the dang thing if they get to double digits somehow. Defense, you mentioned today, we only mentioned one pickup in Sean Murphy-Bunting there. Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones, Chrissy's Tunga, L.J. Collier on the defensive front. Linebacker-wise, Kazir White, Chris Barnes, Mac Wilson, totally new linebacking core. Secondary, we already mentioned it. That was really to fortify that secondary with the corner position in Murphy-Bunting, which was their best part of their team a year ago, was their secondary. They really struggled at the linebacker position. But, you know, this is a team, Alex, they have a last-place schedule. By the way, Jonathan Gannon at 16-1 to win Coach of the Year is interesting as well. If you think the Cardinals are going to overachieve, he fits the profile.
Yes.
Where we talked about this last week, and we'll talk about it in this division. If the San Francisco 49ers win 14 games, Kyle Shanahan's not winning Coach of the Year because the Niners were supposed to be the best team in the NFC. If Arizona goes 9-8 and makes the playoffs, oh boy, a plus 330 to make the playoffs right there.
Right.
The lowest win total in this division as well. So, yeah, I'm not saying Arizona's going to be good. When I went through everything, they spit out the 6 wins, which is a 2-win improvement. But I feel like their ceiling is higher than a lot of teams with the lowest projected win total in their division. It's 6.5. So it's funny the way I'm talking about this with a team that I had projected to go under their win total, but they have high variance. If Kyler Murray is the Kyler Murray we saw when they made the playoffs a few years ago at the beginning of the year, remember they were the last undefeated team in the NFL just 3 short seasons ago, Alex. Not long ago. They could be a surprise. We're also going to learn a lot week 1 because they go on the road to Buffalo. If they somehow pull it upset as a touchdown underdog or play Buffalo tough, yeah, maybe this team is a little bit better. Like I think their higher variance can show.
It is very interesting. So they were in the median group. 19% of their offensive drives resulted in touchdowns.
Okay.
But only 24th in points per game at 19.4.
A lot of field goals.
6th best in red zone scoring at 62.8%. But very good offensive line, returning 4 or 5 starters. Ranked 2nd in yards per rush, 2nd in yards before contact per rush, and then 4th in total run yards. So, I mean, they do have a very high ceiling, especially adding a really good wide receiver there to increase those passing yards there. Defensively, though, as I mentioned, not very good. Dead last with the Commanders. 29% of their opponent drives resulted in touchdowns. 31st in scoring defense, 25th in yards allowed. So that is a big portion of this that they need to make improvements. We don't know for sure, right? It's a very new defense working together and a lot of new players.
Total turnover in the linebacker and quarterback for this Arizona Cardinal team, as we brought up. I will say this, just looking at their schedule real quick, Alex, they do play 3. Now, granted, they play the Rams, who we'll get to in a few moments, and the Lions, who we both picked to win the NFC North, and then they get the Commanders. But that's 3 straight home games. Weird things that early in the season can happen.
Very true.
Again, as we know, before a team knows that they're really bad, that was one thing with this Arizona team all year. Their effort was always A+. Jonathan Gannon had this team playing hard, even though they were overmatched. So, look, you have your quarterback for the full season. Maybe they pop a shocking 9 and make the postseason. I don't think they will, but the variance with this team feels larger than any other team in this division, and quite frankly, maybe even the entire NFC.
That is such a good point, and that is why I do like Jonathan Gannon at that 16-1.
Okay.
I wish it was a little bit higher.
20 would have been nice, right?
If I was getting 20 or 25-1, I probably would make a small bet on that. But you're right; they did play very hard for him, and those home games. I mean, we're talking about the Arizona Cardinals that beat the Dallas Cowboys, upset them in between weeks 1 and 3 last year. Remember? Then that was last year.
That was week 3.
It was week 3.
Week 3. Remember, Arizona week 1 probably should have beat the Commanders. Late turnover. Commanders survived. Week 2, the Cardinals got that giant lead against the Giants. And Daniel Jones' last good moment let him back. They won that game, of course. And then the Survivor chaos came with Dallas in week 3. Dallas was a 16.5-point favorite on the road and lost the game outright by double digits. So, look, was that you? Was that your pick that week?
It was.
Oh, I don't.
I
didn't remember.
It's okay. I brought it up, and that's how I can't forget.
See, that's why you brought it up, because like, hey, they got me in Survivor. I'm not going to forget that when looking with them, especially at home early in the season. Again, with Survivor, we'll get into it when we get closer to the season. I very rarely will use road teams. Very rarely, in part because of that exact situation. You never know in this league. Any given Sunday, all the cliches on that. Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff Parles.
And I'm Alex White. Thank you for watching this clip of Sports by the Book. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe.
We live stream the show right here every day on this channel. Also, you can catch the podcast version on your favorite podcast platform.
All the links are in the description below. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.